Weekend is long weekend here. That's why maybe people they haven't
Okay.
charged.
Mhm. This will start some pound. Which at 2nd of September is Labor Day, right there.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Because in my office also there is a holiday in US calendar.
Yeah, 3 days they'll go from today itself.
Today it's,
Yeah, some they go like leave on Thursday if they are planning
mm,
somewhere to go out.
mm,
Here, like you don't get many holidays, right? Like in India, you get a lot of holidays.
yeah, in India we get lots of holiday. US we don't get much.
Yeah.
India is
Whenever,
India is land of festivals, right? So that is the
yeah.
reason we are getting so much. So now we'll start. We-
Okay.
We'll start with the port one. What is a port? See, as we understand, see, when we come for OSI model, so this port thing, see now, suppose this is your house, right? And suppose this guy is electrician, so he is allowed he he is allowed to visit your house. But suppose he is an electrician, so which work are you going to assign to him? Right? The work related to the electricity. So similar way, when traffic will come, when traffic will come, the recording is happening. So when traffic will come, right? So you have to decide which service they are going to allow. So for that particular thing, every service is given a port number. By that particular port number, you can identify the service port number. And when we say port number, like FTP,
Yes, yes,
okay,
FTP, yeah.
yeah, it is file transfer protocol, right? So it's
Yeah,
work on,
824
sorry,
port number, right?
20 to 21 FTP. FTP work on port 20 to 21. When we talk about SFTP, it's work on port 22. So
Okay.
similar way, if I want HTTPS, sorry, HTTP service is work on port 80, and I want HTTPS service, HTTPS service is work on port 443. So what is difference between this S?
That
What
is
is mean?
secured, yeah.
Yeah, it is
Secured.
secured. So when we are using this thing, this one, so traffic is transmitted without encryption. Means I can see username and password or whatever I'm typing in. If you open a Wireshark, you are able to see. But when you use this HTTPS or SFTP, so when you use Wireshark, in there you won't able to see what kind of data or application data is going on. So that is the reason we we must know what is a port and why we need those kind of ports. So there's come see when as in word of cloud security, cyber security, if you go in the industry, they will tell you CNC port. So what this CNC means? Command and control ports. Command and control ports. It's like a key to your car, right? If I'm able to get a port 22 access, port 22 access, so I can easily do SFTP work, even port 22 work for SSH, means taking a remote thing. So I can easily take a admin remote of your laptop, of your server. I can do anything. Even I can shut down your laptop. So these are the CNC ports. When talk about CNC ports, so there is almost talking about 30 to 35 CNC ports are there. So how many ports exist in technically? So there is 0 to 65,535 ports are there. So are we able to remember this many ports? It is possible. Humanly, it is possible to remember this
No,
many ports. So what is the work of, suppose if someone asks what is the work of port 5,000? So are you able to define that particular thing?
no,
No, right? So we don't need to remember this 65,500. Only 30 to 35 ports we must remember. So when we say 30 to 35 ports, so what ports comes in that particular thing, right? Again, the port 20 to 21, then port 22, third, port 23, fifth, fourth, port 25. So this kind of list are there. Then port 445, then port 3389. So when I talk about these things, see, these are the taking a these ports used to take the remote of the command line remote of the servers. If I am do able to access this particular port, why then I can easily able to take the remote of your server. I can easily do whatever I wanted to do. And port 23 is a telnet port of Cisco device. So I'm easily able to take a remote of switch router if there is a port 23 is open. And port 25 is for emails, email kind of service. And port 445 is file sharing port, file sharing ports. So again, port 3389 is Windows remote server. I can take remote of Windows server. So why this port is important? See, when suppose this port is open over the internet, so anyone can easily enter into my network, easily can transfer the file. And one of the example we will see here, like this way. See, see, this is the famous attack happened, WannaCry, and it's happened over the port 445, where the port of window file sharing were enabled by mistake, and user able to easily access that particular port, and they were easily able to insert the malware things. See, port 445. If you read about this attack, this is a not this is in 2017 itself only. This attack took place. That time I was in the geo, and it was huge. See, the best approach is to block all the inbound access to port 445 at the top of the rule to avoid mistakenly opened by lower rule. We also recommend blocking port 445. See, and due to this, there are many companies who left over port 445, and due to which this security issue of malware, which is called famous attack of WannaCry, happens. So that is the reason the port of 25 ports, sorry, 30 to 35 ports, we must remember, because whenever we go, we have to do perform a firewall audits. So in that particular firewall audit, this particular port, your knowledge will come in the picture. This then there is a list of ports, port 135 to 139, which is called NetBIOS port. NetBIOS port. So what this NetBIOS means, when you have a system, right? So before rebooting a system, it goes into the NetBIOS mode. So even before booting a system, whether it's Linux or any kind of or Windows system, you are easily able to manipulate the things. Whatever the username password you want, you can put your username and password, and you can take the remote of that particular system. And now the most is NTP. It is called Network Time Protocol for that port 123. So this way, I will give you a list of ports which you have to remember. You don't even, I don't think even 30 to 35 ports will also be there. You have to remember. I think only 15 ports, 15 to 20 ports we must. That is must. We have to remember. And when you talk about these ports, this are you will you allow this port to expose over the internet? Over the internet,
No, no.
right? Why?
Yeah, vulnerability, right? Like,
Yeah, these
actually, it can
ports.
be.
Yeah, these ports are command and control. Like it's you will not throw or left over the key of your car uh, in car itself. Only anyone can open your car and they can
Take over the
use the
system.
key and take your car. So that is the reason we don't allow this particular ports to expose over the internet. This is one thing. Now port again, to define a port, it is come for 0 to 65,535 ports. So again, these ports are divided into three, like the IP address is divided. So port is also divided. One is well-known ports, well-known ports. Other is registered port. Third one is for R&D purpose. Means reserved for future. Reserved for future. So when I say well-known ports, right? So it comes from 0 to 1 to sorry, 1024. So why it is called a well-known ports? With the name, it says key. This is already been defined. There is a centralized body who define what kind of work port 21 is going to do. So there is centralized body who is assigned key if you wanted to do services of FTP. So I am fixing port 21. I wanted to do SSH. I am fixing port uh, 22. So these are their work is fixed, and that number is comes from port 0 to 1024, and this register port it's from 0 to 49,000 something. I don't remember the number, but some still sorry 10252. So their work is still going on. Let's get this one. Yeah, see, this is the ports number, sorry, which we are defining. This is a well-known ports and this is a register port. So this is the number of register port. And when I say well-known port means the work is already been defined. This is a particular work like port 3389. It's a remote port. So this, sorry, it is like port 21, port 22, port 23, port 25, port 123. So all these ports are already been defined. This is the particular work they are going to do. So that is the reason it is then known to as a well-known port. And from port this to this, it still work is going on to define what kind of work services are going to assign to that particular ports. And this the port below, it's called a dynamic port. You can use for anything. It is a reserve for future thing. Still, no work is going on. When this list will finish, this list will come in the play. Yeah. So this way, when you go in the interview, they will ask you what is well-known port and what is registered port. So when you give the range, your answer is this way, right? Well-known port, registered port, or dynamic ports. Now, talking about, see, when you go for firewall, right? So firewall work on which layer? Any idea?
So fourth layer, transportation
Yes,
layer.
it's work on the fourth layer. So similar way. So when you go for in industry, so either you are working on AWS or you are working on Azure. So there is when your this particular practical class of Azure and AWS start, so you will see there is NSG and SG. So what NSG is called? It is called a network security group. Sorry, network security group. Network security group. So it is nothing but it is working as a firewall for the cloud server. Remember, this energy is working as a firewall for the cloud server. So in that particular thing, your work, one of the work is to audit the firewall ports. When I say audit, so you have to prepare the report, you have to prepare the report, and in that particular report, there is network team, so network team or network security team. So what they will do for easiness of work, what they do, they open any kind of ports over the internet or anywhere. So your work will be to identify which port is left over the internet, uh, and you will prepare the report and you will give the report to them to close that particular port, and you will ask the reason why these particular ports are open, this kind of thing. So how we are going to do a audit? So you can perform the audit only when you know about what is a CNC ports. So what is a CNC ports? So when you log in to AWS or Azure, so you can ask, either you are having application which is integrated with AWS or Azure, and you are going to pull out the report, and in that particular report or in this particular application, you are going to see a source IP address, like a typical firewall, source IP, destination IP address, service and allow and deny the traffic. So when you say a source IP address, suppose if I give you example 10.10.10.10 communicating to suppose 192.168.0.1 and the service suppose if I'm using service 161, sorry, yeah, 161. So will this are you going to allow or it is allowed? So will you going to put in your reports? So what this particular port is doing? So how we come to know which what is the work of this particular port? Suppose you don't know and you see this particular port. So how we are going to find out what is the work of this particular port? Itiraj, I'm audible. Hello.
Yeah.
Are you getting what I'm trying what I'm teaching? Hello.
No,
So
yeah,
when we see, yeah, sorry.
no, you
Hello.
can. We are trying to define the service for each and every port.
Yeah, right.
Based on that.
So there is already been services is defined. So when you see port 161, so if I don't know anything about this, what this port is doing, so now how we are going to identify what is the function of this particular port?
You can just Google it or chat GPT it.
Yeah, right. Either you can Google it or either you can do a chat GPT. So when we see port 161, right, it is a range from 0 to 1023. So it means it comes under well-known port means its work is already been defined. So how we are going to do it? Let's see. There is there is a list, right? So when we talk about see either I can use this one or I can either you can do a Google. See, this is a complete list of ports. Here we can see what is the work of port 161. Can you see? It is simple network management protocol. So when we talk about this one, so are you going to put this in your report like it is a network management protocol? What this network management protocol do? It will for the monitoring of all your device, this particular port is required. So are you going to ask the person why this port is allowed or are you going to put in your report? Yes, no. If yes, then why? If no, then why? Just try to tell us.
You can say you don't need to put in the no, but you can mention that this is just a service that's like what it's there for.
See, but before defining this particular thing, right? We have to see the source and the destination, right? Source is a private IP address. Destination is also a private IP address. Means to monitor your device, to monitor your server. So there is a tool monitoring tool being used in every organization. So what this monitoring tool will do, it will communicate each and every particular IP address and pull out the report ki whether those servers up, down, So for that particular thing, we are using port 161. It's all depends upon source and destination. See, here it is a private IP address. Both are private IP address. So it will not come to your report, and you are not going to do anything because it is common ports used in the private to private IP address. Suppose if I'm using here 49.49 something public IP address 0, and here also I'm using a private IP address. Suppose this only. Now this is most dangerous. As I told you, a list of CNC port, it should not be exposed over the internet. It is completely banned. You should not expose those particular port over the internet. So when I say internet, what this exactly means public IP address. So whenever you see a public IP address exposed over the internet, it comes into your report, and then you will asking the question why these ports are there open over the internet, and then we are going to ask them to close that particular port as soon as possible, means remove this particular rule as soon as possible. And now there is a tool which we call nmap. So in that particular tool, it will scan the IP address over the internet, and it will tell you which ports are open, for the particular IP address. So how this nmap works? Let me put this one. So there is application like this one. Here, see, this is the scanning. So one of the example, suppose if you put this IP address, here it will give you list of scanning, quick scan, fast scan, and if I put IP address, now I'm going to scan, and see, scanning is started, and it will tell you which ports are open over the internet. So, you see this now we can see, can you see the ports are open? This is scanning this tool, and it will tell you which ports are open. So when you see this kind of thing, so what exactly you understand? What is this mean of closed? Here it's showing over the port and open. What this exactly means? Suppose open, we know, right? These particular ports are open. If you see port 80 and port 443, it is open over the internet. But when we see this particular thing, right, other one closed, what this means?
It just means we're not able to interact with the SSH.
Right, because the port at 22 is closed. It is not open. So when you scan this particular thing, you will see three type of response. One is closed, one is open, other is filtered. When we see a open, means particular service is open, you can access a particular service from whatever the laptop or service from where you are scanning, wherever from you are using nmap. And when we see closed port, So it means it is closed over the firewall. In firewall, it is closed and it is giving you a in response reset, sorry, reset packet, so that it is showing a closed. And when we see a filtered, it means in the firewall it is blocked, but it is refusing to give the status of closed. It don't wanted to expose the status whether it is closed or whether it's open. So that is the reason when you see filtered one, it is set in the firewall. It do not send a reset or any kind of packet towards the source to know the port is closed. So that is the reason you will see filtered request as well. Filtered request as well. So this is the tool, nmap tool. When we go and use this particular thing, see now if you wanted to see this one other way to do it, just open this cmd prompt, right? cmd prompt. This is the tedious task. Just do a telnet ip address 137.74.189.103. Now you have to put a port number. Like if I put port 80, see this is a tool which is going to scan the most top top 100 ports, and it will give you the result like this way. Other way, you manually go type telnet, type ip address, and give the space and put the port number. And if you click on this particular thing, see, are you able to see this? See, this is a screen which came like this kind of window came, means port it is easily able to connect over the port 80. See here, see now it is closing the connection. See, we can see this kind of things. It is giving a response in the back. Sorry, yeah, this body text, all this particular things are coming, means the port is open and we can see a response. Now if again if I wanted to try, again if we try port 22, see what will the response will come. Could not open towards connection failed. It means it is blocked in the firewall. If you see this response means it is blocked in the firewall. So there is a two-way. So suppose if I wanted to scan 100 ports, so manually it is possible to do this particular thing. Suppose if I give 100 IP address and all one IP address having to scan the 100 ports, sorry 100 ports. So how many combination will come? 100 multiplied by 100. So these many times will you sit and do this work of manually? Yes, no, any answer?
No.
No, right? So what you are going to use? You are going to use this particular tool which is called nmap, which is doing a function of scanning this particular IP address, and within that timeline it will give you the result. So this is the tool which is used to do scanning of particular thing. Now let's see if I scan my own laptop. Let's see which port is open.
When you do this, we do it for each server.
Yeah, you can put the IP address here. See
Based on the
if
server IP address, we
yeah,
when you say
so
audit, like we audit the servers, right?
yeah, you are going to audit the server firewall rules. You are going to audit because this rule will be put over the just a minute, looking again.
So
This rules you are going to put see in the firewall or NSG network security group where it is mentioned as a source IP address. There is a table source IP address, destination IP address, and the server service, and then allow and deny. These are the rules are going to mention. So one, we are going to audit this particular firewall rule. One, this work audit of firewall and NSG rule where this kind of list are mentioned. So this is by seeing this list, we are going to prepare one report, one thing, and for nmap kind of thing, we are going to scan live IP of either server, either device, and then we will find out the trying to do a port. See, this work is called audit. What whatever report this work you are going to by just by seeing a rule, you are going to prepare the report. It is called audit. And when you are doing nmap, it is called pen testing. Pen testing.
the
By real,
penetration, it's
yeah,
called penetration testing.
yeah, it is called penetration testing. And that particular thing is called audit. Auditing a firewall rule, auditing a NSG rule. And this one is called real-time testing, which is called pen testing. So in every organization, so they do either daily or weekly. They scan the ports of all the IP address available in the infrastructure to find out real time issues. If by mistake any network team or any team is left the port open over the internet CNC ports. So it is very important to scan daily. If it is larger organization, if it is a bank or financial thing, if it is smaller organization, non-financial thing, they can scan weekly to find out, there should not be any CNC port open. Now, this is the mandatory thing by, FedRAM regulation to do this, but this activities. Now, whatever we are using this Nmap tool, it is pen testing kind of thing. Now, other thing, this either you can do this way or either you are going to this way, but this way is most difficult thing. This is next to impossible, so that is the reason tool has been developed. Now if you wanted to do by command line, you can just copy this command. You can, if you paste it here, it will do a same work. So if I use some different IP address, suppose if I use, if I'm scanning a geos, then same way you can also do it here as well. See, this is the same work. This is user interface. This is command line interface. So when you install nmap, you can use this software easy way, or either you can use the command line. But for using a command line, you must remember the commands. And here in tools, you don't need to remember the commands. Here in this particular thing, here everything is given to you. If you do it, the command will change here. Quick scan. F means fast scan. All those regular scan. Only nmap. What is the n full form of nmap? Network mapping. all those. See, can you see this particular thing? What this exactly means? What this exactly means? So when we see this command, right? So what this exactly means? This one,
It's the Nmap scan on port number.
right? It is a port range from 1 to 65,535. And when we see this P means port, A means, sorry, T means T minus V means do sorry, deep scan in that, find out the OS number as well. So we don't need to remember each and everything, but remember you what is the important things like this port, this particular P and map, all those things we have to only remember. This is the one. Now, second, suppose if I tell you about this particular thing, suppose if I put any here, and here if I put any IP address, and here put any. So what this exactly means, any, and this exactly means, what this exact means to you, just by seeing this thing.
You
Did
can
I?
connect. You
Hmm?
can connect from source to the destination system and run any service on it.
Yeah, any source can connect to this particular destination over any port. When I say any port, it means port from 1 to 65,535. See, it's like your home. So you are putting any restriction who will come, and who will not come, right? So are you allowing any person to come to your home, to any person, or do any kind of thing? Yes, no,
No, only authorized.
no, right? Only authorized person. So similar way, if whenever you see any, so it will come in your report. So whenever you see, sorry, any source, any destination, any port, so we are going to put into your report if this particular any is remember. See, either in some place it is any mentioned, or it is 0.000.0/0 mentioned. So this way of writing any is putting 0.00000. So remember this thing. This is the way. So one, when you are doing firewall audits, first thing we are going to mention, we are going to see any, where there any rule exists or not, anywhere in source, or either any in the destination or any in the service means port. This is the first. Second, we are going to mention in a report CNC ports, like command and control ports. So these two things we are going to identify in your firewall or NSG audits. So how these rules are look like, you see this one. See, this is the list. This is a list of CNC port. So we must remember, there is no other way. We have to memorize this, what this port 21, 22, 23, 25, all these ports are doing. See, these many ports, there is no other way. We have to remember this list. So I will share you this particular list of things. this is a this many only remember this particular thing. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Only 15 lists. You have to remember what kind of 15 ports are there and what is their work. So these 15 ports you have to only remember out of 65,535. Just remember these 15 ports and life will be easy when we go for those particular thing. Now, yeah. See how firewall rule look like. See this way, when you open any firewall or any energy rule, so this way it is going to look like where source IP address will be there, destination IP address is there, and there is a service and the particular action are there. So in particular service, this kind of rule we are going to see, these many rules we are going to see, and this way the service is been mentioned, and this is the action of permit and allow. So when you see this one, so in that just tell me which rule, if you see, by seeing this list, which rule you see most critical and should come to your report, which is the first rule this from this complete list.
The one that says any.
Yeah,
Just,
one is yeah,
just
one is
yeah,
having
that
any,
was
right? This one, this particular thing, any. So this one we are going to mention in your report. Here, this particular rule is saying any is been mentioned. Mm, and how we are going to prepare the report? This is the way we are going to prepare the report. See, this is extract of PPT. This is Excel sheet which is been made. Like here, your observation will come. Can you see source and destination configured with the any? See here any. This is a command line which we are going to see. See, this is source any. Complete subnet is allowed, means bigger subnet is allowed. Source is defined is any. Service configured with vulnerable ports. So when we say vulnerable ports, right, what this exactly means? See, list of port 445, 3389, net BIOS port, SSH ports. So this way we are going to prepare a report, and this way it is going to come in your report. We are going to do a firewall audit. Okay. Just see for 30 seconds, and if any questions comes, just ask. Itiraj, are you getting what I'm teaching? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So this way, this is the extract of firewall and the NSG rule, network security group rule. This way, this is the way it will going to look like this way. And this is our observation we are going to do. So when you go, either they will give you access or either they will give you Excel sheet, not notepad for doing this work. So suppose one firewall open. One now the questions come. Suppose one firewall, almost having 10,000 lines of such rules, right? And in larger organization, companies having 50 firewalls. If it is a smaller organization, they're having one or two firewalls. Suppose if you're going in company like billion-dollar company, right? They are having one firewall contains 10,000 lines. 50 firewall contains how many lines? See, 50 firewall multiplied by 10,000 lines of audit. So are you able to do manually? Are you going to perform manually?
No.
Right. Let's see if you this one, how much it will come? It will come like 5 CR lines, right? So it is next to impossible to do a manual work. So for that particular thing, we are going to use a tool. Uh, Before that, I will just yeah. So for that, we are going to use a tool. So which tool are you going to use? In market, there is a three tool. One is Skybox. Skybox. Other tool is AlgoSec. Other next is Manage Engine. So these particular tools are available. So what these tools are doing? There is a firewall, and this firewall is getting connected with this tool. Sorry, this is connecting to a server which is called collector, and this collector is sending here this firewall device or AWS or cloud is sending a logs to this collector of of all these three tools: Skybox, AlgoSec, Manage Engine, and this collector sending a logs to Skybox dashboard server. Skybox, AlgoSec, or Manage Engine. And here they are communicating to this 50 firewalls and giving a preparing a report in real time. Sorry, it is daily non-business hours. It is pulling a reports and preparing a report in the in particular kind of dashboard. This work. So there is this kind of tools are there in the market. So one of example I will show you. Let's see. See, this is a one of the example which I created for this diagram for the skybox only, the skybox tool. So this is the skybox tool. So this way, all the firewall is going to communicate to this skybox tool, and skybox is going to pull out the report daily basis to this from the firewall. And now again, so when these are the communicating to the firewall, now questions comes on which ports they are communicating. Any idea? When I talk about right firewall, so we have to take a device of remote. So on which port it is going to work? Just try and guess. Itiraj, hello? I'm audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. So just tell me, Darsh, okay, Darsh Varuna, who is a Joker, okay, on which port it's going to work. So it is going to work on port 22, right? So
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. So why SSH is required when we are going to see a packet tracer? So we come to know why we need SSH, because to see configuration of firewall, we need port 22 SSH port. So this is sending a logs on port 22. It is also communicating over port 22. So this way, it is fetching the what you call uh, configuration file, and then it is displaying on the skybox in very easy terms. So when we see firewall, mm, see how configuration look like in the Cisco device. So this way the configuration look like in Cisco devices. Are you able to read this particular? If you are a new, it is next to impossible to read this particular thing if you not work on the firewall thing. So what Skybox will do, they will create, sorry, dashboard like this way in easiest form. They will create a dashboard like this way where easiest source, destination, and service easily mentioned. So by layman also can easily see what is rules defined in the firewall, and you are going to make a report. So this is the reporting part. Now, other important thing, opening a port, right? So this will be an interview question. So when you go on the interview, so first question they will ask, tell me the process, how firewall rule are going to define, and who is going to open the firewall rule. So as a cybersecurity expert or as a cloud security, whomsoever, now it is your duty to approve or deny the request which is coming to implement in the firewall. So there is a team of business team or developers. What they will do, they develop a application, and for going live, for developing application for integration purpose, they need particular services to be open. Again, to give the IP address to open the particular port, this business team is not given the task. They are not for them to open particular service for the application or making application live. So to doing that particular thing, they have to rely on us, means security team, whether it's cloud security, whether it's cyber security or information security. They have to rely on us, our approval. We are the approval, sorry, in that particular thing. So what they will do, they will go to one portal. There is a portal to open the firewall port. So they will open the portal. Again, in that particular portal, there is rule has been defined like source, destination, mm, port number, or what if you wanted to allow or action, allow or deny, right? So here they will mention the port number, sorry, source number, suppose 10.10.10, 10.0 slash 24. Here they will going to mention 192.168.1.0 slash 24. And now they are mentioning to open a suppose port 445, and here action allow. So now this particular request portal, see they open the request on the portal. When they will request open to a portal, there is a ticket number has been generated, 1 2 3 4. Example, this is a ticket number generated, and now this ticket they have defined their requirement. Now this 123 ticket will comes to you as a cybersecurity person. It is coming to you. Now, if you open the request, so what will be your action? Are you going to allow, deny, or this particular thing? What you are going to do? Here, they have to mention a this particular team have to mention a business justification why they want to open that particular request. So now the request comes to you. Now tell me either you are going to approve, deny, or what you are going to do. Idiraj, Darsh,
Well,
Runa.
like you just said, business, you would give access to them because they're requesting it now. But even though you said that, business does not get direct access.
Hmm. See, when you are going to see as a approval, right? So first thing you are going to see a port 445. So it is well-known port. Port 445 is file sharing. Means the business team wanted to share a file. This one question comes in your mind. Now the second question comes in your mind is source slash 24, right? Slash, this is a larger network. So see, this is private IP address, this is private IP address. Means this rule is not going to expose over the internet. So this is done. So risk is reduced 50%. Now, but why they want to define the complete network? So this question they are writing they wanted to transfer a particular file or kind of thing they wanted to do a transferring. Now you will again ask to them why you need this particular larger network, because if you wanted to transfer a file either one or two IP address it's enough. Now you are going to them and asking a question why you need slash 24 means 256 IP address why you want to transfer. If they don't have any kind of justification, any answer, we are going to deny the request. Once you deny, it is not going to network team. Now, if they come up and there is talk will there, so you will come up with the okay, don't give slash 24, give me this only two IP address. Now what you are going to say? Now slash 24 is reduced to only one or two IP address. Now what your next action? They are saying don't give me, okay, don't give me slash 24, give me one or two IP address only. So now what will be your action? Karuna, Itiraj, Darsh.
Well, you'll allow them, obviously
You'll
Yeah.
with
give for
proper
a
reasoning.
Hmm?
slash
See,
30, like it will give two IP addresses.
no, yeah, one or two IP address we allow. Now we will say to them, "Okay, raise a new ticket, raise a new request, right? I am going to deny this request as discussed for allowing one or two IP address. Now raise a new request and send me a request. Right? We cannot allow, right? We are not allowed to modify the original request which is coming. So for that particular thing, we are going to deny this request. Now you are going to tell them, raise a new request and then come back to us. So this way it is there. Now how it look like, I will share you. See, this is a way it is going to look like. See, request date. This is one of the company where I used to work. See, this is a form. Previously, we are used to do a manual work of doing a word file uh, to a requester. See, request date, company name, requested by, requester, run, server owner. So either business team or whomsoever want to open a particular port, they have to raise a request like this one. They have to give a request like this one. Now, yeah. See, this way they are going to raise a request. Now tell me, will you going to allow, deny this request? What will be your action on this? See, this way, as you see, this is the original company. This way, the company will work. So they are mentioning a source. destination port number, service port number and justification like this way. So are you going to deny, allow this rule? This way, there
Yeah,
is one team is there whose work is to allow and deny this firewall request, because in complete day, almost 50-60 approvals are coming to you, and you have to be very cautious, because once you approve, it is goes to a network team, and once now next step, we'll discuss on that. Now if you allowed, see, if you approved, it is going to a network security team, network security team, and when they see this particular thing is it is approved by cyber security, information security, they blindly put the implement the rule in the firewall. Blindly they will implement the firewall. Now this ticket of raising, it is first step, open a portal, raise a ticket. Second step, it is goes to information security team. They are allowed, deny. If they deny, it is not going to further next step of network security. If it is approved, then it is going to a second step. So this way, and finally it will be put in the firewall or energy group, and this way the rule is implemented in the firewall. Now this is the way they are going to raise. Now tell me this request, either you are going to allow, deny.
Yeah, deny the first one because I see a lot of IP addresses.
This is only one particular IP address. See, when we talk about lots of IP address, so when you see /24 and above, that is a larger segment. When you see /25 and the below, or this single IP address, that is smaller network. Always remember. So are you going to allow, deny this request? See, this is a form, comes to you. Now it is your duty to decide either you are going to allow, deny. So what
You
you are
can
going to
allow it
allow? Why you are going to allow?
because all
Deny?
the ports on
Yeah.
there are secured or safe.
See, these are the ports we discussed. These are the CNC ports, command and control ports. Anyone if get the access of this port, they can do anything of your server. Again, so are you going to allow, deny?
Deny without and ask proper reasoning.
If you deny, then why you are going to deny? Here they have mentioned the justification. See, PIM, segment management, password management.
Because it's being accessed by multiple people.
See, it is not accessed by the people. See, it is a this IP address is a server IP address.
Yeah, this is done by the security team. Like, so other than security team, why they need access to this?
Right. See, in when you go in the company, there is a monitoring tool are there, right? Monitoring tool. Monitoring tool. This monitoring tool, either either security operation center or any monitoring tool. So they required CNC port access. Remember, monitoring tool. When we talk about monitoring tool, see here it is mentioned as a PIM. So what is a PIM? Nothing but CyberArk. PIM is monitoring the privilege identity management, means whomsoever is doing anything, it is getting monitored by these servers, these servers. So for that, always remember, for the monitoring or tools, we require CNC port access. So this is the reason we need to allow this request. In organization, always remember, there is one segment we are going to deal with. We are getting a request for tools and monitoring. So whenever you receive a request for tools and monitoring to work, like we have seen for the skybox to work, what kind of port we required? we require a port 22. So for such request, we have to allow the CNC ports. So this is one of that particular request where PIM access they are asking. When I say PIM, it is a CyberArk access where whatever you do, whatever the command you are going to type over the server, it is going to capture that particular request, so that if you are doing any work which is not supposed to be done, record has been generated and you cannot deny those particular things. So that is the reason we need a CNC access. So this way we have to deal with those things, whether it is monitoring IP address, these are the monitoring servers or non-monitoring servers. So this way we have to deal with those particular things, source IP address, destination IP address. So we are going to allow this, sorry, we are going to approve this request. See, suppose in place of this, if here I am canceling this and putting a public IP address 49.49.49.49. Now tell me, are you going to allow or deny?
Nay.
Deny.
Deny, right? Because you are exposing everything over the internet, right? This is not a monitoring IP address where I will give you CNC access. CNC access only be given for two conditions. One is for tools and monitoring system. Always remember, tools and monitoring system. That's it. Only that particular scenario only I am going to allow tools and monitoring access. Otherwise, in any kind of situation, I'm not going to allow any CNC ports. So this way, when you work in billion-dollar company, almost 100 requests it is going to come to you, and you are the one who is responsible for allowing, denying their request. So when it will comes to you, you are not blindly going to deny the request. First, you will either you will mail to them, either you pick up the phone and you tell them ki this request is comes to me, and I'm going to deny this request. But before denying, I just wanted to have a word meeting with you. When you do a meeting with them, you will try to understand their request, and if you find justified, then you will allow. If it is, even though they are failed to deny in 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 their justification, you just put your reason and deny the request. So this is the one. Now we are going to again see this particular thing. So first step, business team. When I say business team, whomsoever is handling a business or development team, either they are going to open a portal, and in that particular portal they are going to put source, destination, service, port, or action, allow or deny. And again, in third step, it is coming to you to, as a cybersecurity expert, it is coming to you as to approve or deny the request. If you deny, you have to provide a justification why you are denying request. If you approve this request, it goes to a network security team. Sorry, network security team on ground level. And now this rule is going to be implemented in firewall. Firewall, or it will taking part as NSG rule. So this is the complete process of raising a request. This five thing. This will be this is the interview question. They are going to ask you in the interview. This particular thing. So any question, any doubt on this? Darsh, Itiraj, Varuna.
No, sir.
No, no, no.
No, nothing.
Thank you. Oh, see, yeah. Now this way we are going to make a report into here. So will be your observation. This is one of the slides of my PPT where I'm presenting to a management or my manager. So this way we are going to make a in your report. See. Now, yeah. Now we talk about the tool, right? Now when we talk about the tool, there is a tool of Skybox. Managing. See, this way the tools are available in the market. This manage engine firewall analyzer tool, which is called to analyze that particular earlier version is already installed on this. See, we will see this one. See, this is the way every company uses firewall analyzer tool. So this is a free trial of 30 days. My trial is over. So you just download this particular tool. You are not going to integrate, and we are not getting a chance to integrate this and any firewall tool with this firewall analyzer, because we are not having any firewall to work on upon. Why I'm just asking you to download, so that when you explore the tabs you will getting a idea how it is work, and when you go for interview you can easily say, yes, I worked on this particular tool. Now three tools are available in the market. See, Skybox. So this is a tool which is used for doing firewall analyze, analyzing whether firewall in on-premises, firewall in the cloud. So these are the tools. This is a tool which is doing the work. So we are going to integrate this tool in this particular thing. Can you see firewall assurance? The firewall assurance. So these are the tools. Now talk about tool. I'm just opening this one. See, these tools costing almost 2 CR for 3 years of license. So these are the paid tools here. This one, yeah. So this way, you will see on the left hand side. Can you see this one? This field. So this way, this is a firewall is integrated with this skybox. Skybox. You see on the left hand, is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this way, these are the firewalls. It is integrated with the skybox. See, these many firewalls are there. And here we are going to see the list of firewalls. See, 49 firewalls are there. And the access compliance tools. So here, this way, we are going to see a dashboard, rule compliance. See, critical, high, medium, low, and the severity. So this way is giving you a particular dashboard. See here, when you open a task bar, here we are going to integrate the firewall. See here, list of firewall which we are going to integrate. So they will give you a list. You just need to open a tab and put the IP address of particular firewall. Just put the IP address and start analyzing a task. So as soon as you put the IP address, it is start fetching the configuration file this way. See, this is the task of Cisco firewall, Palo Alto firewall. See, this is the way we are going to add a firewall in this firewall automation tool. See, this way he is adding a firewall.
Which button did you press to bring up this box?
This is a YouTube video.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is a YouTube video in that particular thing. Here, if we go here on the top of that, see here, can you see read add firewall?
Oh, okay. I see that now. Thank you.
Actually, this costing in CR, so I cannot manage afford to get the. So that is the reason it is not the free version. So that is the reason I have to use a YouTube. Here you can see a add firewall. So once it is comes, this window will pop up. Here you have to mention the IP address. IP address. But to integrating this thing, what you need, one connection to a firewall. Means your Skybox server till firewall connection should be there. Means it is not like that key my Skybox server is not able to connect to a firewall. Then it won't work. One, then second, opening a port 22. These two things must. One is communication between Skybox and the firewall. Second, communication or over the port 22. Once it has been established, you just don't need to do anything. Just put the IP address here and it will start working. Connect. See here, the task will come. Here it will show you whether my Skybox server is able to communicate to a firewall or not. So this is the way. Here it will show you the message. What kind of errors are there or not. Now see here, I'm just putting a name of the firewall. This is Cisco's firewall. See, can you see here it is showing a port 22. See, can you see SSH port? Here it is showing port 22. So we need port 22 to be open. And see port, port 22. So what port 22 is doing, it is fetching the show configuration file from the firewall. See here, we have to put the IP address like this way. See here, he is adding a hourly basis to schedule to pull out the report. So this way, we are going to add a firewall in this way. It will show you now. And how once it has been added, how this look like? Yeah, see this way, it is going to look like this way. And all the reports we are going to see. If you click here, it will give you to fetch the reports. Yes, this is. I'll show you. This is this is official channel of Skybox. I'm just advising it to you go through this video. There is only 5 videos are there because in the interview they will ask you which tool you have worked on, either AlgoSec. If you go in organization, you will find these three tool only: Skybox, AlgoSec, or Manage Engine. Manage Engine is a free tool. You just download. Let's see. Yeah, see this is the way the latest dashboard. Sorry, latest dashboard will look like. Here it will give you the risk by a port. Here the dashboard will show you like this way. Yeah, this way it is going to give you the report. Now this is the what you call Skybox. Now we will see AlgoSec. See, all the tool works same way. It's just the name of the tool is different. See this way. Sorry. See this way it is will give you a dashboard of which if you open any rule, any CNC port, so this way will give you the report. And same way here, if you see on the left hand side, the firewall is been integrated with this particular tool. The work is same, either Skybox, AlgoSec. The company name is different. This is a Palo Alto firewall integrated, and he's giving a policy optimization, everything. See, high, medium, low risk. What kind of ports are open? See this, yeah, just see. So this way, it is giving you a report. See, source IP address, any. Can you see any? So this way, it is making easier way to understand and any kind of rules implemented in the firewall. So I will give you these two link of AlgoSec and the Skybox. So there is five videos are all only there. So we have to just go through that so that in the interview when they will ask you which tool you have worked, so you are going through by this AlgoSec and Skybox. It is very easy to give you the answer in the interview. Now the other tool is, let's see, Manage Engine. One of the great things is that it is available for 30 days trial. Just download this tool. My trial is got over. I'm not able to use this one, but I will share you the link. Same way, Skybox, Algosec, same way this manage engine of firewall analyzer will work. Just go through this, download, log in into that particular thing, explore the tab of this firewall analyzer tool. Now, apart from that, yeah. So in firewall, suppose if there is a 5 lines of rules, right? In that particular thing, so what firewall does, if suppose I have one line, first line, second, third, fourth, and fifth. For me, suppose this second and third rule, and talking about rule, it is not working, means it is not used, means there is no source or no destination coming and hitting on these two rules. And my main rule is on the fifth. So what will happen? So whenever you firewall, how firewall goes, it is goes through each and every line. Every time when you open any packets or any traffic comes, it is going through each and every lines and seeing whether it should allow or deny. If my rules in on the fifth and this second and third rule is not working, even though it is going here every time, it is goes through this. If suppose this rule is of no use, but still it is going, why? Because it is on second and the third. So in that case, suppose it is zero utilized rule. So what will you do? What will you do in this firewall? That is called rule cleanup. First, whatever you have seen, it is doing firewall audit. Now we are doing a rule cleanup of firewall. Rule cleanup, what this means, any rule which I am mentioning, source, destination, and it is not been utilized, means zero traffic is coming on that particular rule. So will you keep that rule in the firewall or not? Just give the answer. Yes, no, they, no.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah. See, suppose I have a 5 rules, right? In that 5 rules, second and third rule is been zero hit, means there is no hit on second and third. Are you going to keep that rule or not?
No.
Yeah, right. We are going to remove because every time when request coming to a firewall, it is going to see line by line each. It is not like that. If it is not used, it will he will skip this rule. No, it is going to check this second, third, fourth, fifth, and then it is coming. So what this does, unused rule. It is called zero hit rule. Always remember hit rule, zero hit rule, which is of no use. It is unnecessary consuming the CPU power of firewall. It is reducing the memory or processing power of CPU. So whenever you see a zero hit rule, so we are going to remove this one. So what is the benefit? If I remove this one, the processing of firewall become a faster. My traffic, there is no lagging in the network or no waiting in the queue comes. So it will be, suppose it is taking a 1 second. So now after removing this thing, it will be reduced to, suppose 40 second. My request will be transferred. Suppose it is just 60 second. Now after removing this one, it become 40 second. Now this way I can save the firewall's memory processing power. So how we are going to see whether firewall have a zero hit count? Similar way, skybox tool, skybox and the algosec tool. So here now see one of the other is, can you see rule users here? It will show you if firewall that particular access list is been utilized or not. So here in the rule users, it will tell you each and every line if it is consumed, if it is been hit by a traffic or not. If it is zero hit rule, we are going to put in a report. We are going to remove that particular rule. We are going to tell the network team, boss, these two lines is never been used and there is no traffic coming on that particular rule. We can clean up that rule by removing that particular rule. Now just by seeing this one, what this you understand, shadow rule and redundant rule. So what this shadow rule means? And why it is
Zero
necessary?
zero hit rule is it?
Yeah, see what shadow rule means. Suppose if I have a larger network, right? Suppose I am putting 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10 slash 24. Same way. And in that particular thing, I'm putting 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10 slash 25. Right here, this larger rule is shadowing this smaller rule. Means rule are same. Here 250 IP address, 256 IP address is covered. Here 128 IP addresses are covered. So in this rule already, this rule is already been covered. Means this rule is not going to be hit, like as you said. So this is called a shadow rule. One larger rule on the top and covering this smaller rule. So it means the traffic is not going to, never going to hit to the smaller rule. So that is the reason we have to remove this shadow rule. So in this particular thing, we are going to see three division. One is policy compliance, where you are going to see a CNC rules. Second, you are going to see rule uses. First is CNC rule, any rule, whatever the critical rule you are going to configure, it will show you in this particular dashboard. Now second, zero hit count, zero hit count, zero hit shadow rule, we are going to see in that particular area. So this way we are going to do a audit rule cleanup by using Skybox tool. So any question on this? See, just ask if it is small, silly question, it's fine. Because we are here to ask the question, because we are paying to ask the question.
Nothing from me.
Okay. So just I will share you this link. Just download it. This one, and the second one is this. Nmap. Here you are going to scan whatever the IP address you wanted to scan. You are going to scan, but just a request: do not scan a bank website in US. Banking website or government websites. Do not scan. Why? In US the rules are very strict. If you scan this banking website, financial website, or government website, so they will come to know about your IP address, and within 2 to 3 hours they will come at your doorstep and asking why you are scanning this particular thing. So do not scan unless and until you are not authorized. Scan all the non banking, non financial, or those kind of website. It's fine. See, like I am scanning a Geo. It's fine if you scan, but do not scan financial bank, particularly in US. Otherwise, within a 2 3 hours, they will come at your home and they will ask you for a justification because they are having a tool who can capture this particular thing. So just download this thing, just start scanning that particular and we'll come to know the IP address. I will give you the IP address, 5 IP address once the class will over. Just scan those IP address and let me know your result. In the word form, just copy paste in the word form and just let me know those things. So this is the today's lecture. So any question on that today's lecture? In next class, we are going to study about how we are going to perform zone to zone access. Now we have studied about this what you called firewall audit. Now we are going to study about how we are going to perform zone to zone access. See this way, this is the one. Just I'm giving a glimpse how we are going to define a particular zone to a zone access, and this is the Bible. Every or you can say main document every organization creating to prevent one zone is communicating to other zone. So what is a zone? How it's been done? So we are going to study about in tomorrow's lecture. So this is me today's lecture. Thank you very much everyone for joining the lecture.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Bye.
Yeah.